Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and today we are going to talk about mandible. So let's start our topic with introduction. Mandible is largest, strongest and only movable bone of skull excluding the ossicles of ear. It forms the lower jaw and houses the lower teeth. Mandible plays a vital role in mastication, speech and facial structure. Unlike maxilla, it is a single bone that develops from two halves fused at the midline. Location and structure of mandible. Mandible is located at the lower part of face extending from one ear region to the other. It has horizontal body and two vertical rami giving it a horseshoe-shaped appearance. Mandibular symphysis at midline marks the fusion of two halves during development. Parts of mandible include body of mandible and ramus of mandible. Talking about first part of mandible, that is body of mandible. It a horizontal portion that form the chin and base of lower jaw. External surface features of body of mandible include mental protuberance, that is prominence of the chin. Second feature is mental foramen, that is opening on each side for mental nerve and vessel. Third feature is alveolar part that contains socket for the lower teeth. Now let's talk about internal surface features of body of mandible. It includes genial tubercle and mylohyoid line. Genial tubercles are small projections for attachment of muscles like genioglossus muscle and for geniohyoid muscle. Mylohyoid line is rich for attachment of mylohyoid muscle. Next part of mandible is ramus of mandible. They are vertical extension on each side of the body. They contain coronoid process, condylar process and mandibular notch. Condylar process is thin triangular projection for attachment of temporalis muscle. While condylar process, that is also called as mandibular condyle, it articulates with temporal bone at the temporomandibular joint, allowing movement of the jaw. Third is mandibular notch, that's a depression between the coronoid process and condylar process. Then there is one more feature on the ramus of mandible, that is mandibular foramen. It is located on the inner surface of the ramus of the mandible and it allows entry of the inferior alveolar nerve and vessel. That is important in dental anesthesia. Important features of mandible. First is mandibular symphysis, that is midline fusion point at two halves of mandible. Second is alveolar process, that is socket for lower teeth. Third is mental foramen, that is opening for mental nerve and vessels. Fourth is mandibular canal, that is passage within the bone that carry the inferior alveolar nerve and vessel. Fifth is angle of mandible, that is the junction between body and ramus, and it is an important landmark for muscle attachment. Articulations of mandible. Mandible only articulates with temporal bone, one on each side at the temporomandibular joint. This makes it the only movable skull bone apart from ossicles of ear. Functions of mandible. First function is mastication, as this bone provides attachment for chewing muscles like masseter muscle, temporalis muscle, and pterygoid muscle, and it also holds the lower teeth. Second function is speech, as this bone assists in articulation of sound and words. Third function is facial shape, as this bone contributes to the contour and structure of lower face. Fourth function is protection, as this bone houses important nerves and vessels in mandibular canal. Fifth function is movement, as its articulation and temporomandibular joint allow opening, closing, protrusion, retraction, and side-to-side movement of the jaw. Conclusion of this lecture video. Mandible is unique, strong, and mobile bone that serve as foundation of lower face. It supports the lower teeth, enables mastication, and participate in speech and facial expression. It articulates with temporal bone at temporomandibular joint that make it essential for jaw movement. Being the largest and only movable skull bone, the mandible holds immense structural and functional significance in human anatomy. And this was all about mandible. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you for watching.